Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I'm sorry that I have to ask you about Duke, but we do have to talk about Duke because in the Garden
Yeah.
tonight, they picked off top 10 Baylor. The final score of that game was 78-70. To me, the big storyline is this: Jared McCain scored 21 points. In the last 3 games since Tyrese Proctor went down, he's averaging 18.7 points per game during that stretch. Jeremy Roach, over his last 6 games, is averaging 19.3 points with 3.7 assists. He's 12 for 20 from 3 over those last 6 games. Jared McCain is 9 for 17 from 3 in his last 3 games. Before that, Jeremy Roach was averaging 10 points and Jared McCain was averaging 7.6 points. When those two are going, Henson, I think that makes Duke a much, much more dangerous team than they've been in the past.
Yeah, tonight 15 for 29, 4 from 8 from 3. You're not gonna beat many teams with their guards playing at that level. Those 3 guards, McCain and Foster specifically, are growing up right before our eyes. Proctor being out probably was the best thing that ever happened to them because I think Jay Billis said it. They don't have to look over their shoulders. They have to play, right? So they can make mistakes and they don't have to worry about getting pulled over their minutes. So you're seeing the effects of the confidence they're starting to build. And Baylor punched them in the mouth. It was a slugfest. Duke punched first, Baylor punched back, and then they went on a 14-1 run to end the game. Um, Great growing game for them. Even with Filipowski being on the bench down the stretch and them still being able to kind of take over that game. Credit to Duke for figuring it out. And we thought Shire would have those guys ready to go as the season went on. Last year they did the same thing. Looks like everybody's starting to find their niche, find their roles, especially with Roach kind of saying, "Hey, you know what? Now that Proctor's gone, I can be the lead guy." And everybody's kind of just following him to the promised land per se. And it's going to be a fun ACC race. I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but it's going to be a fun ACC race because there is no overpowering favorite right now. I mean, you don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
mean,
McCall.
to piggyback off that too, with Proctor being out, and I'm not saying he's not a really good player, and take this the right way. Shire doesn't have to worry about rotate. He knows the 5 guys that are going to be in the game, and then
Mhm.
he's bringing guys off the bench, and they're not going to be in that long. They're just going to spare guys. Now, Ryan Young gave great minutes when Filipowski was out of that game. He played well for him. He made some big time plays, had some huge rebounds. I thought a huge play in the game. It was kind of like Baylor had the game under control in the second half, and when McCain hit that three, like, they never really looked back, and you could hear the Duke crowd in the Garden get behind, and it was just super impressive. And Jay Billis said this on the podcast, or on the air. He said, I think Duke is something like 41-18 in their last games in the Garden. They just find a way to win in there. But I think for John Shire as a coach, he now knows his rotation with Proctor being out. Now he's going to have to figure it out when he gets back and he gets back healthy. But with him being out, he knows his rotation. And Henson said it. Those guys don't have to look over their shoulder. They know they're going to be in there, and they can grow and they can develop. And I think that's extremely important just for their program right now.
Let me ask. I want both of you guys to weigh on in here from the coach's perspective and from the player's perspective. With McCain and Roach playing as well as they are, and Tyrese Proctor came into this season with All America preseason hype. Henson, we'll go to you first on this one. Like, how do you manage that? Like, if you're a player and you come back and you're Proctor and you see these guys killing it, like, do you bring them off the bench? Like, how do you work them back in? Because you don't want to, like, these guys they're playing their best basketball of their careers at this point.
So this is a question for coach. I'm a player, so I would say from a coach's perspective, I don't know the relationship or how much he affects that team per se, but he's just got to be willing to buy in. This is Duke. This is not Louisville. This is not a school that they're trying to win. So whatever role he needs to buy into for them to win, he's going to be more successful on the outset, right? If they're a better team, he'll be drafted higher. It'll just be better for everybody else. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, model FAU, Elijah Martin and John L. Davis, two of the best players that are on draft boards, came off the bench multiple times last year for the Owls as they went on the Final Four. So Proctor's got to come back and he's got to be all in, bought in, whatever his role is, whether it's in the starting five, coming off the bench, but they're flowing and they look good tonight. So it's got to be whatever Coach Shire says.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.